1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in a Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the Hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters gon' move, whatever click you choose.
Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to Life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down! Now, for those y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. Yeah, that's me gassing right there on that intro, man. And if you want to get that song, it is available only on a 10-song EP. You can get it on a digital download link that you purchase directly from me. Hit me up on my email at 16tolifemusic@gmail.com, Cashapp, PayPal, or Zelle me $20. I'm going to get it to you ASAP. Matter of fact, all 3 of my mixtapes are available for purchase on digital download. Now, let's get right into this video, man. So, I've been getting a lot of requests, man, for me to do this video and speak my piece on if Munchie B got marked out by 607 Unc. So let's get into it, man. Now, let me start off the video by saying this, that, man, you know, I grew up in a different era, right? And so I was raised that, man, there is no hand holding and there is no playing favoritisms. Meaning that if your homie does something, man, that basically is frowned upon, you do not get this dude a pass because he is your homie. Also, if you have an enemy or an op, and he does something that's worthy of, you know, giving him his basically his props, you give the man his props despite, you know, you have whatever personal feelings you have about the individual, man. And, you know, that's a form of hating that I don't indulge in, right? So with all that being said, let's get into it. Now, first and foremost, right, starting off with 607 Unc. We got to realize who we dealing with and put it all into context right now. So for those of y'all not familiar with 607 Unc, 607 Unc, man, is from St. Louis, right? And I don't know if the dude got a hold of some bad drugs and he can't shake the effects of the bad drugs, or the dude is just playing a character, right? Either or is hard to tell because the dude seems crazy. You know, I've been following the dude for a while, right? Well, not necessarily following him, but I've been aware of him, and I'll tune in with him when I see him on something from time to time, because in my opinion, man, the dude is entertaining. The dude is funny, right? Now, recently, I just found out, though, that the 607 part in his name is for, the 60 is for Rolling 60s, and the 7 is for 107 Hoover. I guess so. You know, he's from St. Louis or whatever, right? So now, if you from California, just hearing that he's combined those two gangs, that's crazy first and foremost, right? You know, that's crazy right there. And then when you watch him sometimes doing some of his antics or whatever, right, and some of the stuff he says and does, me personally, man, I can't take the dude serious as no gang member, and I don't think many other people do either. I've heard the dude say that he is GD, BD, Vice Lord, Crip Blood. You know, he everything. He's a gangster disciple. He's a BD. He's a Vice Lord. He's a Crip. He a Blood. I mean, so you know, the dude is just like I say, man. It seemed like he got a hold of some bad drugs, right? And so, of course, by now I'm pretty sure everybody is familiar or aware of the phrase that he used a couple of days ago on No Jumper when he said he was from Hoover, blood remover. He said it twice because they asked him what, and he said it again, right? But he used a derogatory term for the word blood. Now, just to keep it 100, man, I haven't even heard that term used. It was probably maybe, man, I don't know, 09, 08 when a little melee jumped off in the pen between some Bloods and Crips, and that's the last time I even heard that term used, right? So it was crazy to hear him say that, right? So some people are saying that when he said that in front of Munchie B, Munchie B should have responded different, right? Like I said, first and foremost, man, we got to put this in the context of who we are dealing with, right? Now, just earlier in that same podcast, the dude said that, you know, he was BD, he's GD. And then at one point in time, he also goes on to say that he's no longer a Crip because it's too tough trying to be a Crip in California when he's from St. Louis. And so let me just show you guys those video clips, right?
What makes sense is I'm a Crip, I spread love. They don't want love, they don't need to be around me then. Because I ain't spreading hate. I got love to the Bloods too. I'm Blood too.
They're gonna shoot you.
They're gonna say
I'm Blood too, right? So everybody knows this.
Practice when you're
I'm the first one you seen like this, gang. Listen, I made it in Chicago, GDBD Vice Lord. I'm gonna make it in LA, Crip Blood. Pyru, everything.
Hey, if you got 6-0 in your name, you for sure not a Blood.
They gonna love me, gang. They gonna love me, gang. Listen, my 6-0 don't mean your 6-0. I'm gonna be honest with you, gang. I'm love. I am the full Crip. I am Jesus of the gangsters, gang. That a lot of people don't know. I'm Jesus of the gangsters.
We're gonna hang you from a cross.
So everybody understand I'm Jesus of the gangsters and I'm everything. I come for all the gangs. I come for all the street niggas, gang. I'm GDBD Vice Lord Crip Blood. Right? But I started off as one Hoover, but I evolved. Listen.
But when you come out here,
well, listen, I denounced the gang then. Listen, if California on that type of shit, I denounced the gang then. I'm just Blood. I'm just regular Blood.
Your name just Unc now.
No, I'm Blood. No, I'm Blood.
And now that I done showed you guys that, I showed all that to say because like I said, man, we got to put in context of who we are dealing with, man. It takes me back real quick to when this old crazy dude, man, and I knew he was crazy. I was in Montana. This dude was crazy. He called me the N-word. Well, he didn't necessarily call me the N-word. He said he was saying something about Michael Jackson and called Michael Jackson the N-word, right? Now, me knowing that this dude was crazy and off his rocker and he was old, he didn't get the same energy that he would have got from me had he been, in my opinion, not crazy, you know, young, and had he been doing it to be insulting, right? He would have got different energy from me, right? When he said it, I laughed at the dude. But now you have other individuals who, regardless of his mental state, regardless of his age, they would have hopped on his helmito, right? So to me, that's all to consider as well, right? And dudes talking about the reaction of Munchie B, right? And so now Munchie B did tell the dude, hey man, you better watch your mouth, right? You better watch your mouth. After Munchie B told the dude that, right, it seemed like to me, dude quickly came out of that character, right? So that's when it dawned on me that, okay, maybe this dude really isn't crazy. Maybe he is just putting on an act, because the dude apologized profusely. The dude was apologizing. He was trying to get the situation over with. He basically, when dudes was laughing and clowning, he was telling them dudes, hey man, pretty much y'all trying to stir up some stuff for the content, man. I'm apologizing. When I apologize, it should be all said and done, man. I give a sincere apology. My bad, right? So he clearly was aware that he had said something that he shouldn't have said, and he was trying to dead the situation. Like I said, man, the dude was so shook up, he wanted to come sit next to Munchie B to make sure everything was cool, right?
I'm from St. Louis. Nigga, I'm a California.
Bald head man gonna pack you out.
I don't even follow 4 extras.
Anybody gonna pack me out?
Some hoes that do, I'm gonna have them DM this Hoover tat.
Oh. Come on, guys, I'm straight Hoover.
You gotta bang your shit.
I'm Hoover remover.
What?
Hoover remover.
Hey, bro, watch your mouth.
Bro. I forgot.
You forgot what?
I forgot. I didn't know you was blooding. I forgot, gang. That's what I'm mama.
No, don't let this content shit go.
No, I forgot you was blooding. Listen, I forgot you was blooding for real.
You gotta watch out.
No, I thought he was blooding. I forgot he was blooding. I know he's no blood. I don't want to get my ass.
Yeah, but you shouldn't say that even if he's not around.
No,
that's a bad one.
Hey, bro. See, people let these characters go too far, bro.
Yeah, I apologize. I said sorry. It was an accident. On real shit, no content. But that's when you give me the character Crip. That's what you say back in the day. So when you raise that kind of shit, you gotta understand. I'm a Crip for real. So you bring it out of me. That's what happened. But I apologize though, because I ain't that right now. I'm everything. But that's just a past shit.
I think it means something
we used to say that.
different out there. Type
no,
shit.
I don't mean. Nigga, that mean the same shit across the globe, but like.
But if I apologize, it should be over, right?
Yeah, but this.
That's sincere apology.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward to this next incident that actually happened a while ago. So now, as they're sitting on this podcast, you had a brother from, I believe he was from Compton Crip, right? He tries to pass Munchie B something, some headphones or something, and he says, "Here you go, cuz," or whatever, right? So Munchie B is kind of like, "Oh, hey, who is that cuz me?" And dude from Santana said, "Hey, you know, that's me, man, you know." And then he said, "Hey, Munchie, you know, you're going to have to get used to me. You're going to have to get used to me, you know, cousin you." And Munchie B wasn't feeling that, right? So let me show you guys a quick clip on that video real quick.
What's over there? It might be a little bit of something.
He tried to hand you the deer juice.
Here, cuz.
No, ain't no more. Ain't no more. It's gone.
He got one. He got one.
Me.
Only
My bad. I should have grabbed 2 bottles, man. I only grabbed 1 bottle.
But you got to get used to that with me. I ain't gonna lie, cuz.
Nah, nigga, I ain't gonna blood you, don't cuz.
Man, you could blood me.
Nah, but I don't,
I ain't on that what you on. I'm a Compton Crip, nigga. I'ma say cuz no matter what. It don't matter what you let a nigga do. That's what I'ma do.
On B-team, nigga.
That's what I'ma do. I'm a Crip, nigga. I'm a Compton Crip, nigga.
Okay, so now, in my opinion, right, the two main things to point out, the two main differences in these videos is the other video, you had 607 Unc apologizing, being extremely apologetic. In this video, the brother from Compton, right, the Crip, he didn't say what he said trying to be disrespectful, and he didn't take it as a disrespectful thing, but he stood on him being able to say what he was going to say and what he felt like saying because he was a Crip. And so that's why, in my opinion, there was a difference of energies in how Munchie B approached that dude and how he approached 607 Unc, right? Once again, the dude from Compton, right, he said, hey, he told him, hey, man, listen, I'm not tripping, man. You can blood me if you want to. I'm not tripping on all that, right? So now, in my opinion, what it all comes down to is what generation a dude is from, how a dude was schooled, and a dude's belief system on that, right? So now, like I told y'all, or maybe I didn't tell y'all, man, you know, I'm from a different generation, right? So when I first got to prison in 1996, dudes was gang banging. I mean, they was gang banging. And of course, the Crips didn't want to hear the Bloods saying blood, and the Bloods didn't want to hear the Crips saying cuz, period. Regardless, even if they was talking, if one Crip was talking to another Crip, the Bloods didn't want to hear him saying cuz, because of course, that is a potentially problematic word, right? So what dudes was doing as a term of mutual respect, there was no saying those words in a place where it would be considered neutral. Like, say, for instance, the weight pal, the basketball court, or the chow hall. Now, let's just say, for instance, give you guys an example, right? You have a dude walking into the prison chow hall Crip. He happened to see some of his homies 4 or 5 benches away, some dudes he ain't seen in a minute or whatever. Hey, cuz, what's up, cuz? Hey, cuz, what's up? So now, of course, you're going to have the bloods looking, right? Because back in those days, we called that getting your ear busted, right? Because you're hearing something you don't want to hear. So now you may have some blood who does not want to hear that. So then he hollers to his other homies, hey, blood, come, we over here, blood, come over here. So now you may have some dudes, some Crips now who, you know, now they hear this dude yelling that, and then the pettiness kicks in. Now dudes start, you know, getting petty because now they intentionally trying to bust each other's ear. So finally, one of these groups will say something disrespectful, or cuz, what's up, where y'all from, or whatever, and it leads to more BS, right? So when you have the mental awareness to potentially spot a problem before it comes, those are the things that you do. You try to nip it in the bud, and you try to create certain parameters so that these problems don't arise, right? And so obviously, in my opinion, that's from the generation that either Munchie B is from, or he was schooled on similar principles like that, because he did not want to be called cuz, right? He was not cool with that. And so he asked dude respectfully, hey man, don't cuz me, because I'm not gonna blood you, right? So those are the difference of things, right? When he asked him respectfully, hey man, you know, don't cuz me, if old boy had said, okay, my bad, I'm not gonna cuz you, then that would have been the end of the problem, right? But the dude from Compton, he obviously is from a generation to where he doesn't mind being called blood by a blood, right? So he doesn't see anything wrong in what he's doing. So he was wondering, like, basically, like, why did Munchie B get so offended, right? You can call me blood if you want to, man. I'm not tripping. But like I said, everybody is not along those same thinking lines, right? Because when I first hit the pen, the Bloods was tripping and the Crips was tripping, right? They did not only did they not want to be called a word that they wasn't, they didn't even want to hear the word. You could be, like I said, walking down the tier talking to one of your homies, right? So they wasn't going for that, right? So now they did have, of course, now if you was over where the Bloods kicked it, y'all could blood all you want to. You know, if a Crip happened to be walking past, hey man, they over there doing their thing, they doing what the Bloods do. And the same for the Crips. But like I said, just hollering in neutral places, it was a problematic action. And so people tried to do things to stop that type of stuff from happening, right? So at the end of the day, man, in my opinion, I don't believe at all, right? I don't believe at all Munchie B got marked out at all, because like I said, man, the dude 607 Unk, first and foremost, he apologized profusely, right? And you have to think about who you dealing with. This dude is not no gang member. Even if he says he is, even if he got this or that tattooed on him, you looking at his actions, right? The things he's saying and the things that he's doing, no gang member is gonna take this dude serious, right? You're gonna look at this dude like he's a joke, like he's doing anything but being a real gang member, right? So I think all that you have to factor into play in your decision on what Munchie B should have done or shouldn't have done. And then at the end of the day, let's just keep in mind too, like the brother is visually impaired. So what did a dude actually want him to do? I mean, you know, maybe jump up and get to screaming and hollering at the dude. I think I seen where somebody said throw something. At the end of the day, to me, it just comes down to what a gang member is and is not cool with being called, right? A lot of people may forget, a lot of people may not know, but at one point in time, the Bloods used to use the word loke. The Bloods used to use the word loke, and then I guess the Crips started using it. I don't know if the Bloods used the word before, but maybe once the word got also popular with the Crips, the Bloods stopped using that word and they disassociated themselves from that word because they didn't want to be using the same word, or they didn't want anything in common to do with what the Crips was doing, right? And for those who don't believe me, just go back and look at the song Loked Out Hood by DJ Quick. DJ Quick had a song called Loked Out Hood. There's a very famous Blood, I believe he was from Rolling 20s, by the name of Loco. I ran across him in on the 4 Yard in Corcoran. And there was another dude I ran across by the name of Loco of Blood. I forget where he was from. So if you happen to be from that era, you know, traditional gang banging, you didn't want anything to do with anything the opposition was taking a liking to or whatever. You know, an individual didn't want nothing in common with the opposition back in those days that I like to call traditional gang banging. So, you know, like I said, to me, sometimes you have individuals, man, they may let ill feelings toward an individual dictate how they see a situation or assess a situation. Like real quickly, man, back in my days, man, regardless, right, how you felt about another individual, if the dude was coming through your hood, putting in work on a daily basis, or, you know, even a weekly basis or whatever, man, at some point in time, dudes is gonna realize, you know, that dude is a rider, man. That dude is doing his thing. Nowadays, when you see a dude coming through sliding, putting in work, you know, you'll have dudes call him a buster or a bitch. Oh man, that bitch ass nigga came through here last night and shot 2 of the homies, man. That nigga's a bitch, right? From a gang banging standpoint, the dude that's riding through here putting in work, he's doing what he's supposed to do as a gang banger. So how could dudes view this dude in a negative light just because they happen to be an opposition of this dude, right? But like I say, in this day and age, these youngsters nowadays, if a dude is a shooter, they say the dude is a buster and all that type of stuff. So to me, this generation and the thinking of this generation is vastly different from the generation that I grew up in. But anyway, man, y'all already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.